Wilbursoot is a popular streamer, musician, YouTuber, and overall internet personality. Currently, he streams and makes YouTube videos on the channel Wilbursoot, but previously he was the frontman and editor for popular channel Soot House, which did Reddit review videos where they went over subreddits. He's a certified ghost hunter, and is the creator of one of the world's biggest unsolved ARGs. I think it's fair to say he's had quite the interesting life. He has a love of music, playing many instruments, and has published music as early as 2019 with the EP Maybe I Was Boring. After that, he released a much more successful album, Your City Gave Me Asthma, of which the songs from Maybe I Was Boring were rejects from. This album is about his hatred of living in London, as well as personal problems he had in his life at the time. It's where Wilbur really started to flesh out his musical voice and gain a better understanding of music production. Many of the tracks are dark and depressing, dealing with issues such as suicide, mental health, hypochondriasis, which is the constant fear of having a horrible health condition, and his distaste towards the current government. Around the same time that he worked on Your City Gave Me Asthma, he was working on his first commercially released comedy song, I'm in Love with an E-Girl. However, before this, he had released multiple short comedy songs on the channel Wilbur Music, some of which were the inspiration for his incredibly popular E-Girl trilogy, which is what I will be focusing on today. He has yet to release his new song he's teased through streams called Soft Boy, and it's unclear if it will be related to the story of the trilogy. Currently, he is in a band called Lovejoy as the lead vocalist and a guitar player, and has teased one of his songs on stream. Welcome to Rock AG. I do primarily anime and gaming content, mostly let's plays and video essays on topics I feel are important or interesting enough to warrant a video, just like this one. I also stream on Twitch at the same tag, RockAG. If you enjoy the video, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe, and follow me on Twitch. It means a lot to me as a small channel, and if you want to see more videos like this, comment down below so I know what to do. Anyways, enough shilling. Let's get back into why the E-Girl trilogy is so good. The first song in the trilogy, I'm in Love with an E-Girl, was a huge success. Its official music video has 18 million views as of the day I'm writing this, and is a recognizable song for many people around the world. On top of that, it sets up the total story he tells throughout the trilogy, while giving a full character arc for the character he plays in the song, while tackling many difficult issues all at the same time. The song revolves around a teenager or young adult who spends his life in a very problematic and kind of meaningless cycle while having a problematic affection for a girl he knows online, the proclaimed E-Girl in the title of the song and the chorus. Throughout the song, the character, who is played amazingly by Wilbur during the music video, is slowly getting more and more problematic, until he is eventually blocked by the E-Girl he had this infatuation with and starts stalking her. This song, even though it's his least polished of the trilogy, sets up many callbacks later on, creates the character he's playing in a believable way, and overall was a very good song. And he did all of this all while tackling and recognizing the patterns of misogyny, toxic masculinity, unhealthy obsessions, and even addiction that are present in the song. The uncomfortableness of his character starts right at the beginning of the song, with the line, sends her rubbing up my Ethernet cord. Then, he starts the first bridge, where you understand his want and need to be your only piece of attention with the line, I'll make you forget every guy that came before me. But, at this point in the song, he is still aware of at least some parts of the troubling thoughts he's having. This is shown when he remarks, and you like my attention, after saying, I like you, thus being aware of her not liking him back and her just liking the fact that he's giving him attention. This self-awareness is completely lacking in the rest of the song due to him falling deeper into his toxic habits. The third verse and monologue in the song include the lines, I'm not aggressive, I just ooze masculine passion. This is a very obvious and direct way of tackling ideals of masculinity and how they're harmful. This is driven even further by the music video, where at the beginning he writes, Today I will teach you to get GF using my ideals of toxic romantic aspiration, explicitly saying the ideals portrayed in this video are toxic and people shouldn't emulate them. Many people critical of the songs consider this song to be harmful for portraying these stereotypes of toxicity, but I think they're missing the whole point of the song, because the whole point is to confront these issues head on, and in a comedic way to make it more easily digestible. This song is the perfect basis for the genius that is the E-Girl trilogy. The next song is a jump in time. The character is older now, but still has an obsession with the e-girl. When I first listened to this song, I considered it to be by far the weakest of the trilogy, but as I've understood the songs better through the repeated listenings and research for this video, I've grown to love it. It's a follow-up to I'm in Love with an E-Girl, which was an amazing song, and expected to carry forward the story he set up. Because of this pressure, it doesn't confront as many issues as the first song, nor does it introduce any new ones. However, what it does amazingly well is flesh out this character in the mental state he's in. Even something as simple as the line, "Internet has ruined me," the name of the song, as well as a repeating line in it, shows he's trying to pin the blame on something else, instead of taking responsibility for what he's doing and feeling. Moreover, he has some incredibly uncomfortable lyrics, just like I'm in Love with an E-Girl, and they give off a feeling of unease for the listener. These lines are paired perfectly with the comedic parts, sometimes even intertwined with them, and lead to the listener to get caught back into the catchy and pleasant-sounding instrumental and Wilbur's voice, then could get pulled back out of it by these darker and more serious lines. The best example being in verse 3. It's an important verse with some very clever lines. However, at the end, he finishes it off with the line, "I think I might be a threat to myself." This line is jarring, and it forces you to take account of the situation before sinking back into the music. This can lead to a bit of a harder listening experience if you're looking at the song for easy listening music, but that's not what this song is meant to be. It's not what it is. It's an exploration of problems that come up with our age of internet and technology, as well as the unfair norms and obsessions that are so normalized in our society. This song continues the story in a meaningful and perfect way, leading into the final song with purpose. Your New Boyfriend was the most hyped up song of Wilbur's, and that hype led to it gaining massive amounts of popularity from all different types of people. Its catchy and clever lines like the famous "He's in your bed, but I'm in your Twitch chat," and the inclusion of a subtle "Jason Derulo" in it has people flocking to it by the masses and enjoying the comedic aspects of it. This is easily the song focused most on comedy and the least dark, despite the turn it takes at the end. This makes it the most digestible and fun to listen to overall. But that isn't to say he doesn't have the song packed, full of meaning and cleverness. The song follows another time skip. The character is now 26 and is working a 9-to-5 job and is pretty miserable with his life. He still has this obsession with the e-girl, even though it's so later on and it's ruining his life. I don't know if this was intentional or not, but this story draws many parallels to the anime movie 5 centimeters per second. I don't know if any of you are familiar, but it's about someone so obsessed with one person, even as they grew apart, it ruins his life. Eventually, he finds the need to let her go and move on, which is something Wilbur's character has yet to do. He sings about the jealousy he has with the girl he's obsessed with, and is anguished by her new boyfriend, Jared. This song only introduces one main new theme, which is the idea that he needs to move on in order to live his life. There's a very subtly hidden message in the lyrics, with the chorus showing his almost jealousy for her ability to move on pretty bloody quick, something he's never had the strength to do. This line also ties into the common theme of his obsession, and the norm society forces upon him. He's still obsessed with this girl, and he's just moved on to a generic office job working 9 to 5, the status quo of the world, and one that many younger people consider to be a less than ideal job. This song ties up the trilogy in such a perfect way, because all of the themes explored in each song make at least a small showing up, and then the ending, while not fully resolved, has a sense of finality to it. As the music fades out, he's fallen too deep into this obsession. Where his mental health has deteriorated so far, this may well be one of the few things keeping him going. Hence, why he has a spray bottle up to his head in a gun reference. A very dark and overt reference to suicidal thoughts and tendencies the character may be experiencing. He stares unsettlingly as the music and video fades out, to begin the cycle of his hatred, jealousy, and obsession again. Now, you've probably been wondering when I'm going to explain why the trilogy is so good. As the title says, I spent lots of time breaking down each song and the meaning behind them, but have failed to include what makes the trilogy as a whole good. And the answer to that is in the importance of each song. In a trilogy, each song needs to be able to stand on its own as a good song, but then they have to fit together like audio puzzle pieces.
this is a large problem on things like conceptual albums, where each song needs to be a freestanding piece that works well with all the pieces of music in the album to form a cohesive story. This simple yet incredibly difficult task is what makes the famous concept albums so good. Albums like The Wall by Pink Floyd, The Black Parade by My Chemical Romance, and David Bowie's Ziggy Stardust album. What Wilbur did with each of his songs to achieve this was create consistent themes that are built on in each song, but have little mini arcs on their own per song, as well as introduce new themes that are resolved by the end of it. This leads to a cohesive listening experience and a complete story that makes anyone appreciate the effort, time, and skill that went into it. The Eagle Trilogy is amazing as a whole, but part of what makes it so good is the ability for each song to be those freestanding puzzle pieces. Another reason why it's so good is because of Wilbur's skill as a musician and his amazing acting through both his voice and the music videos. The album would have felt much less clear and powerful if the lines weren't delivered in the way they were. Wilbur managed to make every line feel powerful, even if it didn't have much individual meaning. And the music videos themselves include what I like to call the Wilbur stare, where he opens his eyes wide and stares at the camera blankly with some slightly upturned lips. This stare is so unsettling, and it helps build incredible amounts of tension and reinforces the absurdity and toxicity that the character represents. All these factors are what leads this trilogy to be as amazing as it is, and I'm excited for any release of new music Wilbur has planned. Until then, I'm Rock. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, although if you made it this far, I hope you did, and comment what you want me to talk about next down below. But for now, see you around.